And we are live. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Heckin' Doggos. So, one second here. I've got
Woohoo!
got something weird going on. One moment.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
We're going to have
Wait.
to change over. Yeah, something really went under for a moment. Just one second. We'll be right back. Everybody's camera's frozen, but me.
Oh no.
Hopefully this time it all works. Hello everybody out there.
Hello.
So it's of course final episode. Gotta have a technical difficulty moment, right? So hopefully everyone out there in the wonderful world of Twitch can hear us. Greg, thank you so much for coming out tonight and joining us. We have Greg from a couple of our shows and also from Amora Games. So thank you. But tonight we are playing Heckin' Good Doggos. And we have in the GM chair for the evening, we have Matthew Orr from What Ink Games. So, Matt, it is all your show from this moment forward.
All right, thanks. I have in my notes to say, well, first off, we'll remind everyone that as players, that you can mark a pip from last time. Like we completed an adventure last time, and so you get your level up, your better experience. Um, we did some heavier events last time. There was a flood that destroyed the neighborhood. To make it too brief to describe that, so we're gonna go for a lighter tone tonight. And I have. I think we do intros, right? Let's do our player introductions, right? So player and
Right.
character, and then our little icebreaker thing. I am feeling, because it's starting to turn into summer here where I live. It's definitely getting sticky in my house, and it is it is. I'm thinking about summer, so and it's also like the last our session together, and so I'm just in that mood. So like I want to know what like summer plans everybody's got. Like what summer plans you got. So tell us, yeah, tell us who you are and what something about your summer plans, because we're all about to leave each other for the summer.
Who wants to
Anybody
start?
can go first.
I guess
Yeah,
I'll start.
somebody's. I think you
uh,
start. Yeah, go ahead.
I am Corey, she, they pronouns. I am playing Daily the Mite. Um, you can find me at Minute Alley. You can find me here on Rick and Rasp, all those sort of fun places. I actually don't have many plans for the summer. It's literally just to chill. I might go to my parents
That's
for
a
a little
plan.
bit, go down to the beach maybe. I don't live that close, but my parents live close enough, so hey. Um, it's literally just relaxing, getting some writing done, maybe finally finish something. But yeah, very simple. Stay cool. Like I might switch desks with my wife to be next to the AC, maybe even.
Ooh,
Hey, that-
getting fancy in
stay
here.
cool and relax. Sounds great.
Exactly.
All right, well, I'll go next. I'm Sierra. Hi. She, her pronouns. You can find me online at C Silencio. You can also find me on the Drunken Geek podcast. It's a Pathfinder 2 actual play, super fun. Um, but we are on there at Drunken Geek Pod. Um, and for the summer, oh, also, I'm playing Artemis. She's a Dalmatian, in case my outfit didn't give it away. Um, but for the summer, my boyfriend and I are actually talking about possibly going to Europe. We
Ooh,
haven't officially planned anything yet because he actually just started a new job, and so we're trying to figure schedules out. But that's one thing that I'm looking forward to is trying to get that trip planned.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool.
John.
Well, I can go last because I'll probably ramble for a moment like I always
Okay,
do.
okay. I'm Michael. I'm using he, him pronouns. I am playing London, the Siberian Husky, for unfortunately what might be the last time. And for this summer, I believe my wife and I might be traveling to Texas to see family, hoping to spend a weekend at Gen Con just vibing with folks I haven't seen in a long time and not really attending the con, but just spending time with people I want to spend time with.
I get
Aw.
that.
And then we have some friends to visit in the Louisville area, and we'll be going down there for a long weekend as well. So it'll be a nice summer.
Cool,
Nice.
cool, cool.
Nice. Well,
And
hi everyone. I'm John. You know me here on Rook and Rasp. If I'm not on a show, I'm one of the people producing them. And I play Bandit, the little Shih Tzu, a little shit of the group, I guess. Uh, But I am this summer is con season, so literally I was just we were late today because I was loading up a van because we're headed to Origins tomorrow. I'll be repping for Epic Adventure Candle Company for them at Origins. So come by the booth, come see me there if you're going to Origins. And then, man, it's con season. I'm gonna be at all the cons. We'll be at Gamehole Con to rep for Adventure Week. Roxy does editing, or not editing, she does layout for them. So
Mhm.
we'll be there for that. And Gen Con, I will be there, hopefully repping myself, maybe. We'll see. Because I've got a game I'm trying to put out. So,
Ooh.
you know. Go back through Seriously Let's Play. It was like, I think, the sixth episode. It was Gutter Punk, and I had some guests on for that show. Yeah, I'm hoping that I can actually get that thing out the door this year so I can keep making other games. So, anyway, that's what I'm up to.
awesome.
That sounds like fun.
And, and I'm Matthew Orr, he, him. I'm the creative director at Wedding Games, my company, and we are publishing Heckin Doggos. Hopefully later this year. I mean, expects to be out later this year. Like, unfortunately, we've met some. Everything is harder this year and last year and the year before than it has been in the years before that. So, yeah, it's expected this year. Heckin' Good Doggos, and we also, Wedding Games, will be at Origins later this week. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, where we have various videos of our games and various content. And also, we have a Discord. You can find a way to join that too. So yeah, lots of ways to get a hold of Wedding Games and find out what we're doing, what we're working on. And for my summer plans, I think it has materialized that I'm taking a trip to New Orleans It's kind of been like, why don't we go? Why not? So we've made a few plans. We booked a hotel. So that's
Okay.
as far as we've gotten the planning, but that's a necessary first step. So
Yeah. I mean,
it'll be fun.
sometimes it's fun to just go to the hotel, check in, settle in for a little bit, and then just go from there. It's my favorite kind of planning.
Yeah, I've never been, so it's like there's a streetcar line apparently, and you get on and go. I don't know wherever the streetcar goes. I guess we'll find out. Um,
Oh,
no time to.
I'm
We'll
going.
have to
I
talk
will.
at break.
Yeah,
We'll have to talk
yeah.
at break. All right. Well, no time to plan it now. We got to play this game. We get to play this game. All right. So, I think since the last time that we saw your characters, it has been like bordering on 3 months. It's been a while that it's taken to. You spent some time in sort of like very temporary accommodations. Maybe some of you got into some housing, short-term sort of living arrangements with your best friends. That's the humans. For those who are watching for the first time, and then you got to come back to the neighborhood, and it was a real messy, dirty place. There were sticks and debris around. There was mud around, but a lot of that's been cleaned up. Like in the last few months, you have seen things get in the last not months, but like since you've been here, stuff started to be cleaned up, and like your little immediate area is feeling pretty good, kind of normal, but you're not really sure about what is out there beyond the rest of the neighborhood. You haven't gotten a chance to go out into a lot of the rest of the neighborhood and see what's there. So we're going to get into some of that tonight, but I think I want to see like a scene picking back up with what you something you've been up to, something you've helped set right in your immediate area, in your yard with your human, or in the immediate area nearby, that you want to talk about what you've done since you've been back in the neighborhood. And yeah, so just give us a little scene like we've done sometimes before, where you've got the narrative control to tell us what you've been up to fix up your houses or fix up your immediate living arrangements here, back in the neighborhood.
I would think that Tommy and London have spent a lot of their time actually mostly helping their neighbors get reestablished. Tommy, being the former cop, he was a little prepared for emergencies, maybe not just like this, but similar to this. So our house wasn't too badly struck, our property wasn't too badly struck. So I like to think that, that Tommy and London went around the neighborhood helping people, retrieve furniture, retrieve objects that were like lost in the waters, try and get the debris out of their yards, those types of things.
All right, awesome.
Daly has probably reestablished her backyard area, all the egress points that she's dug previously. She's just reformed in the softer dirt now to make it a little easier to get out. Becky has probably reset all of her feeding stations and has been kind of monitoring the erosion post-flood sort of thing.
All right. This is her meteorology capacity, or is she into like hydronet? Is she into like
More
fluid dynamics now and like
more meteorological, like just kind of like helping out with that sort of situation. It's a fascination for her, kind of the after effects of flooding. She can do a report on. Yeah, helping out where she can, both of them. So
Artemis is also helping out where she can. I think while they were in the city, staying while everything was kind of drying out and the flood was passing, I think she, for the first time, saw another Dalmatian that was working at a fire station.
Oh.
And she saw how much he got to help, and she wants to help too. So she's going around and just trying to help people move stuff. Like, not, I don't mean she's like picking up boxes and whatever. I just mean like if people are kind of pushing things, she's pretending like she can push it with them. Like, she's picking up little bags of things to put down elsewhere. And it's not always the most helpful thing, but it's very cute and it's a great photo opportunity. And the other thing is she is secretly working on a moat. It's on the side of the house, and she's working on expanding. And she's gonna surprise her mom with it later.
I'm sure she will.
She saw people digging to try to help make troughs to get the water away, and so she is
Yeah.
going to make her own.
Excellent. And Bandit, you're the last one?
Well, Bandit has engaged in what has become the most epic game of fetch ever. He is going off into the woods to find tools and parts that had washed away in the flood and dragging them back to the house. So he'll find like a socket set or a wrench or a screwdriver. Hopefully it was his dad's, maybe. And he just finds it out in the woods, and he'll bring it on back and drop it off like a good boy, and, you know, that kind of stuff. So,
All right. I love it. That's great.
Too.
All right. So, this is. I've got a bunch of different little plot points here planned, and I think it's time. Like you've just described how you've kind of been involved in like the immediate area, restocking your tools, digging this ditch, making sure your egress routes are secure. Your little block feels pretty good. But now it's time to go out into the wider neighborhood and see what else kind of help you can render to everyone else that's in the neighborhood. So you can kind of head wherever you want, whatever you want to check on first as a group, and we'll kind of you know there's lots of people to meet, lots of places to check on. It's kind of up to you what you want to do, and I imagine that. You know, maybe it's become a little more normal for you all to just kind of be allowed to do whatever you want, maybe, is sort of a thing with, like, you know, we all survived. Rules are kind of off, you know, they're not as important as everyone thought, maybe. So, I don't know if you'll need to escape from your yards exactly. I imagine you all can be together from the start this time. Just kind of like, all right, you've caught up. Where do you want to go next? What do you want to check on?
I know what Daily would want to check up on first. And that would be the crows in their tower tree thing. Just to kind of
alright.
check in with them. Like, she
London
knows-
would be suggesting the same with the rest of the kind of the animals, like even the squirrels and the strays that were kind of living out near the fort. The animals that didn't have best friends.
Yeah. I have made notes about almost all of those. So yeah, we can explore these interactions one by one. You want to go to the crows first?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there was definitely a first there. She wants to check on everybody that she's met so far that she can, but it's definitely more like the crows are just particular to her and Becky, and she wants to make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
And apologize for their absence in the meantime.
Yeah. Let's check on the crows. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm gonna rearrange my notes here.
Did I throw you for a curveball? I'm sorry.
No. It's I had looked at our previous 3 adventures and I made a bunch of notes, and I'm going to put them in order that we're going to go through them, so that I don't have to keep scrolling up and down later. So yeah, okay. So you guys go over to, I believe I described it previously as sort of like north and east of where you were, and if you pass by the what we called the Smash Factory in the first episode, that place is quiet, and it was north of that, on up that same sort of more industrial edge to the neighborhood. And you get up there, and as you get a little closer, why don't you roll a sensing to get a somebody roll, I mean, everybody can roll, and see who notices this thing first.
I have 2 pips to begin with in sensing, spending 3 of the 4 of my max to add 3 extra dice. Spending that last pip to reroll. Yeah. That
Big
worked
London
out
dropped the
beautifully.
die.
Oh, no.
I don't know what happened.
So I have 1 success.
1 success, great. Anybody else got?
2. I rolled. I have
2?
1 in sensing and then 2 in smart. So I used 1 to give myself 2 dice, and then I ended up re-rolling them, and I got 2 5s.
Nice.
Hey, that works.
I
I had
think
to spend
Okay.
one. Had to spend 1 for sensing, so I have 1 success.
All right.
I did a few things. I did not get any successes, so Bandit's just kind of not sensing anything. He's just oblivious and hanging with his friends.
You've had a very
Just
busy
happy to
week.
be here.
So you definitely noticed this first, Artemis, because you got the most successes, and then Daly and London, you're a little bit behind, but you notice that there's definitely some loud noises, very very human centric loud noises, the kind of things that only happen when like the really big yellow boxes that don't make for very good. They're not good to ride in. They don't
Right.
bad rides in those. They don't go fast. They're big and loud. They're usually yellow. Although dogs are colorblind, right? So like the big boxes, they push the dirt around a lot. It sounds like that. There's like the really machine noises, lots of machine noises.
That's the
So you pick this
subtitle
up.
for this section is just machine.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So you pick that up. You hear there's definitely some noise in the area as you approach where you knew the crows were hanging out before.
Alright.
Bandit,
mild.
you don't notice. You're looking at the birds and the bees.
Hey, you guys hear that, right? You guys hear that?
Yeah, I'm mildly concerned. That's a lot of activity. Let's go check it out. So, yeah, Bailey's at least going to be pushing forward.
Yes.
All right. So
Cautiously,
when you get up
because-
there, you see. Sure. You don't know what this is.
She knows they're big and noisy,
so
and
when you get up-
they're bigger than her.
You're right, and she's big. So you get up to the that parking lot where you were before, and a lot of it has been sort of torn up, and the buildings that were there, which I described as a closed down sort of strip mall area, that building has been destroyed. It's level. It's gone. It's not there, and instead you have all these. It's hard to tell exactly. I mean, you don't know what it is, but it's definitely like big, heavy metal spikes that are being erected up out of the earth, and then the machines are there, and they've got holes that they've dug, and they're big round tubes that they're kind of setting around, ready to possibly stick them down in these holes that they've been digging. And there's just a lot of activity up there, and that's all happening, across the parking lot from this fake tree that the crows live on. But it's definitely a lot of busyness up there. And as you get closer to the crow tree, there's definitely you kind of see some crows. They kind of like, it's not like they're like sentries or whatever, but they kind of are like, there's a lot of crows always kind of flying around, and so a couple of crows come down to you, and this, I don't know that we established the character last time. What did I call this guy this time? Oh yeah, okay. So there's a crow there, and you recognize it not as the crow sort of like that you spoke with before, but this crow is the one that came and warned you about Snips in the last episode, the one that brought the message to, I think it was to you, Daily. So you sort of like have this like, oh, it's you, it's that crow, and so he's there on the ground, in front of you, and he's maybe a little smaller than he's not the biggest, meanest looking crow. He's a little small, a little more smaller, gentler crow, but he's sort of hello, furry ones, hello.
Hello. It's good to see you again.
Hey.
There's no more to that. Just
No.
No.
Hey.
Oh. Daily. If he doesn't say anything, Daily will continue with, hey, thank you for the warning, by the way. Came in handy.
Oh, yes, I knew you would want it. And you're noticing that this crow is sort of like, I described them before as maybe having learned to speak Doggo as kind of a second language, and this one seems to speak it a lot better. So it's he's sort of like the furry ones, the four-legged and furry ones. We know you guys are, we know the value that you bring to the neighborhood. So we want to be good friends. Work together. The flappers and the fur-legged ones. And he's like spreading his wings and kind of like lapping them, and he's like, you can. I go by Ruffle, and he kind of like puffs up all of his feathers and like smooths them all down again, like the way that birds do. He says that he wants to be the term that I had here. He's like, we need the crows need dogs are just more friendly. We want it. Crows want to be friendly. And he's kind of like, it's harder to be friendly. And they're like, you hear like some of the other crows kind of like cawing and barking at each other in the air above you, and they're like kind of all around this tree and stuff like that. And you spread the word. Tell everyone the crows are friendly. It will be better for us if everyone knows that the crows are friendly.
Sure. Yeah, we can do
we'll
that.
spread that.
Hey, do you need anything? Is the roost okay?
Oh yeah, sure. This tree is solid as it ever was. And there's like he kind of like looks back over his shoulder, and there's like a crow up at the top that's like pecking at the like at the branches, given this like hollow metal ring. Yeah, this is fine old tree.
The noisy ones over there aren't giving you any trouble, are they? Pointing to the construction site.
Yeah. He's kind of like he gives a little moment of like sort of the pure birdie squawking, and it's like it's hard to say, hard to say. Like, not yet. Like I think, you know, he's sort of like is like if they stay over there, then we stay over here. Everyone will be happy. You know,
Alright.
I think.
Have you seen anybody that needs anything in the area? Like, have you seen the other animals? Is everybody okay? Has anything really changed? Other than, obviously, that building.
And the flood, the big flood. Oh, the
Oh,
water.
water. Yeah, it was bad
Water.
times. Or well, it was bad, and then it got better.
Maybe I'll stay.
Yeah, he's he in answer to the question about like you see anyone else, it's like you know, everyone's around. It seems like everyone's around. You know, we're here and you're here and we can all be friends.
Friends.
I don't know if
Friends.
anybody wants to like this guy is he's making I don't know, we don't have to like roll skills or whatever, but he's trying to lay it on real thick, but he seems he's not asked for anything other than this minor like you know, spreading the word, right? He's just trying to present a different face to the murder here.
Daly is going to let them know that the peanuts are back. Finally, got settled in enough to give the peanuts.
And see, then he like puffs up his fur again, and or not his fur, his feathers. He puffs up like, you know, and then it's like, oh, see, this is the kind of friendship that the crows will value. Like, yes, wonderful news, wonderful news. The dogs, you are our good friends.
Artemis is just super excited that they're being referred to as friends, and her tail is just.
Daly knows to give you a wide berth.
Everyone does.
But yeah. Hey Ruffle, if you need anything, just come get me. You know where I'm at usually.
Of course.
Hey, Ruffle,
And if-
Ruffle. Hey,
and
Ruffle.
you know where we are.
Ruffle.
Huh? What?
When did all that start? And London kind of motions over toward all of the noise and commotion at the construction site.
He looks like he's kind of got his like he kind of like opens one wing and kind of is like tapping each of his little long feathers at the end of his wing with his beak, and says like you know, last time the moon was a crescent. Since the last time the moon was a crescent.
Would one of us know when that was?
I was going to say London can make a knowing about stuff roll to know when that was.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's a great thing. That's a great way to
I
know
actually
stuff.
I have 2 points in knowing about stuff. Thank you for that last pip, by the way. So I'm going to
Hey, you
roll.
all did.
I'll roll 4 and hold 1. That's 2 successes.
Yeah. 2 successes. Yeah, it's pretty. You probably know about, especially because it's the crows counting by the moon. Like if I if I made the crows count by the solar calendar, you may not have known anything about it. But like dogs and the moon, they go together, kind of. So like, you know, you're like, oh yeah, the moon. It's probably been about a month since that the last time that the moon. Maybe not quite. Maybe it's but about a month ago. Few
And
weeks.
if I recall, didn't the raccoons make their home in the former mall?
No, their house was in the recycling center /
Oh,
trash
That's
burning
right.
facility that
Thank you.
or trash processing facility that you passed on the way here.
For some reason, I thought they were. I thought the roost and the raccoons I doubt we're very close.
They're relatively. They're both on the same sort of edge of the neighborhood, but this parking lot where the Crow Roost is had a just this empty shopping mall
ruined,
or a
yeah,
strip mall, and then now it's being something else is being built there. And yeah, so it's been a few weeks or since they started, which that's about how long you all have been back in the area. So
London knows, but that was just a player reminder.
Exactly.
all right, so you can the Crows seem to be doing great. They're trying to turn over a new leaf as far as a reputation. They've got somebody else that speaks to the furry friends, and then the last person, and you've got maybe a mystery with the construction thing, or maybe not. It is something you can look into, or you can go check on some of the animals. The Ruffles here told you that he's seen most of the other animals are around in the neighborhood.
Let's go. I'm not really interested in the building. People build all the time. But let's go. I'd check on the raccoons.
And a smash house.
Yeah.
Yeah. The black surprise bags, right? Maybe we can find some black surprise bags.
That sounds like a plan.
All right. So it doesn't take you long from where you are to get down to the maybe I called it the Smashed Palace. I don't know what I called it, but the place where the raccoons were living last time. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you laugh. I don't know what that.
We're not talking about your college apartment, Matthew.
I lived on campus most of my college years.
Somehow I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Yeah.
Depends
I'm
on
not
I
the
lived
college.
in the academic dorm. Excuse me. It was not not that much of a hotbed of malcontent.
It's
Academics
not-
like to get down too.
It's not the University of Texas. It's not that.
Oh my god, yeah.
Anyway, so the thing that you notice about the Smash Palace or the Smash Factory, whichever one I called it, the Smash Building, the trash processing facility, it looks currently non-functional. It is shuttered. There's no activity from humans out front. It doesn't smell like Black Bag Surprise. It doesn't smell like weird hot metal the way it did the last time you were here. It does not appear to be in current operation. And it doesn't the building isn't broke it open or anything like that. It's just it appears to be normal. It just isn't. There's no activity here.
Okay.
I'd like to do an investigating something roll to see if does it still smell like trash pandas.
Yeah, you could sniff around for that.
I've got 2 points in investigating something, and I have 4 points in braving. So I'm gonna roll a bunch of dice.
That's
Oh
awesome.
wow.
I'm gonna roll 4 and I'm gonna hold 2 just in case.
Sure.
That's 1 success, and I can re-roll. Spend 1 to re-roll all. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can't further change them once you've re-rolled them. So it's sort of like your last thing.
Spending that last hurrah. Let's give it one more time. One more go here. That's better. 2 successes.
All right. So you smell. You do not smell any sort of evidence of the bushy. I assume you by trash pandas.
Bushy
You
tails,
referring
yes.
to the bushy tails.
The bushy tails. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, trash pandas. There, that's the same thing. Yeah, so you were you sniff around for them, and it smells. I mean, you know that like since you've been back in the neighborhood, a lot of the smells have really the depth of all the smells has been very different because so much of the water came and changed, sort of laid down a new layer of mud in places that smells different, and like also took smells away, and like I mean, there's smells around, of course, because people have come back. Things have been still alive here, but yeah, you don't. This place feels abandoned. Like it doesn't. You don't pick up anything here that would indicate that that the trash or that the bushy tails have been living here.
So I sniffed around, and I don't smell the bushy tails, guys. I don't think they're here.
Is that one weird swing gate still operational? Or does it look like it would be bound up by something?
It's hard to tell from this side, but it's the that part of the gate, or that part of the fence is still there. So it like you could get behind the building the same way that you did last time if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Artemis would try it, see if she could still get through that little area with the traps and hold the door open for everyone.
Yeah, it's relatively easy to get through that area. You don't really have to manipulate anything or pass any skill checks or anything to get in there. Like because you all did it before, so you know how to do it. And yeah, you go back there and like the piles of wood chips that you saw before are gone. The big rolling green baskets that have the black lids, they're gone. Like it just seems like an empty parking lot, or an empty area of the black tar rock that the people put down on streets and stuff. It's just it's abandoned. This place, there's nothing here. Nothing here. It's gone.
I don't see any of the bushy tails. Do you think they're okay?
I would hope so, but at the same time, I figured, people put their trash here, and the flood caused so much trash. I figured this place would be exploding.
Yeah.
No, they took all their stuff though, so they must have got out safe. They took all their stuff.
Or did the water take their stuff?
Would this area have been in that flood zone?
I think it's probably hard for you to be sure, but like I think I think this whole neighborhood was affected in some way.
Okay.
You could, if you wanted to determine that for sure, you might have to roll like sensing or knowing to really, if you really want to drill down on like finding out one way or the other. But basically everything in the neighborhood affected in.
The water took my sweet toys. So.
That's right.
So what if it took?
Sniffing, investigating.
Yeah, I'll do a
sensing, knowing. You could.
I'll do an investigating.
Yeah.
So it's 3 days. 1 pip. In it, 2 pimps to 2 pips. Roll. I am sleepy, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm going to spend that last pip to re-roll.
I absolutely failed my sniffing check, even after my re-roll.
It's definitely the best way to spend a pimp.
Beautiful.
So I have a 1 success in investigating.
All right, you on a little bit closer inspection, the big piles of wood chips that were here, they look instead not that they so much were carried away, but they were spread very thinly across the whole parking lot. And so rather than all the wood chips being in one pile, now they've been kind of like just scattered across the whole parking lot. So there was definitely enough water in this area to... It feels like maybe there was enough water in this area to do that, to float all those wood chips over the area. So, clearly something. The water probably did affect this area. You feel like that's probably the case.
Maybe the bushy tails went back to the woods.
Maybe.
Maybe. Should we find him?
Well,
Maybe
we were going to check
okay?
the fort, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The fort.
Last time I was there, there were coyotes that took it over. Just warning.
Wow.
Well,
Well, who knows if they're still there? We should check.
yeah. We should check that too.
Maybe they floated away too.
Maybe. The fort was certainly closer to the lake than this place was, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. To the fort.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
On a fort hunt. We're gonna hunt a fort.
I'm just.
Is it a fortnight? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
I think it's. I'm imagining it more like a daytime, but fort day.
I'm just shaking my head.
Okay. You should be. It's okay.
That I get that reference too is.
I am trying to keep up with Cece on the puns here, but I just can't. The quality of my work is shoddy.
Oh, so was that a video game reference or was that just a straight
It
up
was
pun?
a video game reference.
Okay, good. Yeah. Because I got it as a video game
Sorry,
reference.
I've set the bar so high.
I mean, I can't compete.
amazing.
It's not a competition. I'm literally just stumbling to keep up.
Not even trying.
Somebody's got to be best in show, so
Exactly.
Nice.
That's good. I like that.
Okay, so you guys cross the neighborhood, and let's see. So you guys cross the neighborhood from the east side where this more industrial buildings are, down to the kind of going downhill. Maybe you downhill a little bit, but like you go toward the lake, toward the wilderness area that kind of borders the west side of town or the west side of the neighborhood. And you go right to your little fort. And I think maybe Bandit, you talked about going to the woods and looking for the tool sets and stuff like that. I think maybe, and you just mentioned the coyotes. I think maybe you've held off on like really going to the check out the fort because you've been alone on these tool hunting missions, and so you're sort of like, I don't really want to see it. I don't really want to know. It's better just to imagine that everything's fine. But now you've got your friends with you, so you're ready to. I think you don't have any special knowledge about what's there. I think maybe this is the first time you're coming to investigate.
Yeah, definitely. That and the coyotes kind of scared me a little.
Yeah.
I'm just not scared of nothing. Not nobody, not
so-
now.
Artemis's enthusiasm is super cute.
She's just so
I
happy to
think
be here
you-
all the time. I'm so sorry.
No, you're great. You're great. So I think you probably, this next description, you would know this, Bandit, because you've been down in the woods before, as you said in the opening. But the rest of you are kind of, this is maybe, this is a new sensation to you because you probably haven't been in the woods before now, since you came back to the neighborhood. And the woods here kind of be in the lowest part of the neighborhood before you get to the lake, and sort of like it's the least where the humans come. And you and London, you and Tommy usually walk in the woods, but like you've been so busy with all the other things you've been doing, you haven't really had that time to get out into the outside. So like you coming into the woods now, you can smell that this, like immediately you still smell this smells like the kind of just wet and the same sort of rotty, watery sort of smell that you associate with the high water. Like it's still lingering here in the woods, and a lot of the
The entire woods
a lot of
smells
the
like marshy.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
wetter in here, and that
Yeah.
smell is really clinging to it. It's like all the stuff from the neighborhood that it's like got washed down into the woods, and there's more debris here. Usually, the woods feels like sort of a haven from like all the stuff that humans make and drop on the ground and forget behind and leave behind. But it's kind of almost full of junk in here this time. And you can tell the that a lot of that a lot of the debris it hasn't been picked up yet, right? Like this is sort of like there's been almost no work done down here, and so it's very there's like a lot of junk that doesn't really belong in the that's down here in the woods.
Madam Daly's sort of doesn't like the smell, but she's used to it because she probably smelled like that for about a week after the flood.
Oh yeah, if only a week. You were lucky if you only smelled that way for a week
I mean, she's the one
after
that
you
jumped
swam
into
in the water and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wrinkles her nose
so
a
it's
little bit, like,
you know
this is familiar.
yeah. So do you press on to the where the fort was, or where you knew it used to be?
Yeah.
You know, like you're not going to get sidetracked by any of my other tiny little plot threads, which is fine. Great.
I mean, Daly's being cautious at least because obviously there's stuff on the ground now
Sure.
that wasn't there before. And some of that
Yeah,
stuff can be sharp.
there's a lot of stuff.
London is spending
true.
most of his time with his nose to the ground, like, checking all the again, very familiar with these woods with the hikes, but everything feels different.
Yeah, things are different, and you just smell a lot more of the a lot more of the same, you know, the way that trash, but not like delicious trash. This smells like, you know, the sort of oil and grease and you know, metallic, plasticky kind of junk that that sometimes accumulates around human settlements, at least in your experience. All right, so you come to the. It's not like it's the center of the trash or anything like that, but like there's definitely like the fort, almost surprisingly, is still there. It looks slightly more dilapidated than it did. Perhaps some of the pieces are gone from it, and there's a lot of other some of the same sort of trash. Like, you know, I'm imagining like broken styrofoam cups and you know, chip bags, anything that would kind of float and form like a gross skim on the water is just kind of like almost washed up against the edges of the fort, right? So there's like a lot of trash in the area that's kind of mixed with like dirt and, you know, very small rocks, and it's just kind of made into like almost like paste around everything in the area. And yeah, so you're there and you can smell, I think when you get there, you kind of know before you really encounter it that that sort of like especially you, John, who kind of talked to the coyotes before when the floods were happening, like you can smell like they're still around here. Like they you get it, you get a whiff of it right before you kind of like see the fort and see how much trash is laying around it. You get a smell of like that raw sort of like very animal, sort of like wild animal smell. You're like, oh, I know that smell.
They're still here.
And,
yeah.
New friend?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
They're not quite. They're not quite dogs. I don't know if we can consider them friends or not.
London's hackles go up a little bit.
Yeah,
Hey.
Daly's definitely looking as big as she possibly can at the
Hey.
moment.
And Bandit just starts calling out for them. Hey, hey, coyotes.
And you hear kind of like that same sort of like chuckle that you heard from inside the fort before, and then you kind of hear some like almost like yipping and stuff like that, like a real high pitched sort of like calls from further in the woods, and you hear some rustling, and you kind of have almost like out of nowhere, not quite almost out of nowhere, but like, you know, there's one in the fortress, or one in the like in the little treehouse fort, and it kind of pokes its head out, and then there's like one behind you, and then there's one coming from the side, and like they're all kind of like, yeah, what do you want? Town dogs.
Artemis gets none of
Didn't-
this and is just sitting there going, new friends, new friends, new friends. And like tippy tapping.
That's cute, but Daly's still very concerned at this point. So they're surrounding us, is what you
I mean, there's only 3 of them, and there's 4 of you, but there is like one behind you, and one to the side, and one in the fort in front of you.
I
So
mean, technically,
yeah,
there's
they-
3.5 of us. Sorry, Bandit.
Bandit's a full dog.
Bandit is a full dog.
Just
It's-
a
I feel
I
like
mean-
if you combine Bandit and Daly's sizes, you get 2 dogs, and so either way.
Shih Tzus are a small but hardy breed.
They are.
Yeah, I think Bandit has demonstrated his mettle in the previous adventures. So
He did.
you know,
He did.
Don't be sizist, Daly.
Yeah.
Don't be a size queen.
Hey, so you made it through the flood? What?
I just love the way. Hey,
I
sorry.
there's a story there, but we'll save it for another time.
it's like yeah. The like the one that likes to laugh is the one that's kind of in the fort, and like it's just laughing, and then the other one that's kind of to your side is probably the one you talked to before. You maybe recognize, and it's just like oh yeah, ride the waves, you know, like nature follows the ways of nature. We'll always come out on top. Yeah.
What about the trash pandas? Have you seen them? Not the trash pandas, the bushy tails. Now you got me
Bushy
saying it. The bushy tails. Have you seen them?
And then kind of like the one behind is answers, even though you were talking to the one in the front. Like they're kind of doing this weird, not quite like, it's kind of creeping you out the way they're kind of like all kind of answering for each other, or it's raising your heckles, as you said, London. Like this is just get your fur up even more. It's like. Yeah, he tells you that you know, those they want to live off the humans too much. They follow they've got to get to the place where the trash comes the thickest, and you know, don't worry about them. Like they're, you know, they don't have any. They're sort of like, you know, they're just kind of like disdainful of discussing the bushy tails. Like, they're nothing to worry about. They follow. They'll eat they'll eat whatever the humans drop. You know, they'll go where they'll get what they need. Don't worry about that. What about you? You come back. You come back. You want to be live more like the wild animals should. Join us here in the woods. Leave the city behind for good. Is that what you come to do? And and the other one laughs.
Nah, I think I'm good. We like our friends.
Yes.
They're fun.
We just came to make sure you guys were okay.
Oh yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Just go back to your little, your soft beds and your squeaky toys.
I mean,
It's like they, you know,
Have you-
get led around by the rope around your neck if you have to, and then like the one kind of is been laughing, kind of like he doesn't laugh this time. It's just kind of like kind of looking at you like,
Hey,
what you gonna do? What you
Without
gonna
the
do?
leash, my human gets very lost. So it's very important to put that on her before we leave the house. You wouldn't want to lose something that you loved, would you?
This is They-
This isn't
Thi-
the argument
this
they
is
were
a-
expecting.
they like the one that was behind you kind of coming around to join the others in the front, and they're kind of looking at each other like, what are they talking about? They don't know what you're talking about.
Have you ever had cold cheese? Nope.
oh, that sounds good.
Nope. I'm gonna go where there's cheese.
Have you seen any of the squeaky toys? Cause mine floated away in the water. And she gives a very sad look. Her tail kind of droops. It still wags, but it droops.
I feel like it'd be very mean, but I don't want to be mean to you. I don't want to be as mean as they would be to you. So I guess they're not that mean because I have to betray the world. And maybe they do like the one that was laugh. He doesn't give a full laugh. He just kind of gives a snort. They just like, you know. And yeah,
Watch it, buddy.
you're getting kind of a like I don't know, like they're kind of like all kind of together now, and maybe the one that's in the treehouse actually kind of like comes down off of the tire entrance. They're kind of all on the ground, kind of all facing you now, and yeah, they're kind of like they look menacing, and you're not really you're not even sure if these yeah, I don't know. I don't want to tell you how your characters feel, but these
If it were you, you would leave.
no, you can deal with the problem however you want, but I feel like they have the sort of like the dynamic that they seem to have decided that they're going to live here a while, and that doesn't make you feel great, knowing that these jerks are here in
They don't even
what
go
used to be
here.
your little place where you felt like coming to the woods, right?
Yeah.
They're not talking about leaving, and here they are. They're basically in your house, your vacation home, insulting you for being too much in love with your humans. Like, this is a real an insult. Their presence here just feels like You don't like it. You don't like it. Again, I don't want to tell your characters what you feel, but like you're like they're definitely like
Wait,
you don't have to roll sensing to know they're trying to insult you.
everybody, we checked on them. They're fine. Let's go. Let them have their trash pile and this rotten wood. We'll go back to our warm houses and our friends.
Oh,
I'm just surprised that they moved closer to the humans. You would think that being coyotes, that and as
they're
insulting as
coyotes.
they've been, they'd want to get far away.
I
But here they
know.
are closer.
I know their smell. In the end, we're pack. We have each other. We fight for each other, live with each other, share with each other.
Guess they
You
won't know that.
guys. The thing is, you don't share in the end. When things get tough, scarce, you split up. Not us.
Even
And
the bushy
I-
tails stick together.
And Bandit's actually going to walk over to a one of the little trees nearby. He's going to mark, and he's going to kick his feet up behind him to, act like this is mine. And he trots on back to the group, and it's like, yeah, I said my piece.
Daly is definitely primed to react if they make for him.
Yeah, I think you could definitely you could definitely they you get that kind of tension, like you're saying, you're ready to react there daily, and you can kind of tell that they are also sort of like ready to react. Like, I don't know if your reverse psychology is really going to work on them, but they know you've both kind of thrown down a bit of a gauntlet here. Like, you could fight if you want to, or you could not. I think for this, this is like you're not in the conflict yet. You could all decide that like this is a fight to have another day, or you could kind of press the situation and start a fight, which you might be able, which then we would be in the conflict and we talk about how I've got it set up to resolve it here. But you don't have to. Like, it's kind of in that moment before, like, it's up to you as the players whether you want to, like, quote unquote start this fight and roll initiative. It hasn't happened yet.
Hey,
You're kind of having a tense standoff.
I think Bandit's right. The neighborhood's been through enough, and we don't need. The neighborhood doesn't need these guys getting any closer.
No,
I
it
think it's
doesn't-
time we draw a line.
Artemis starts digging.
No, not really, not really. Don't really draw a line.
No, but there's actually a spot that she does want to start digging up. Because a long time ago, when she was still small and we all first became friends, she had a collar on that she wore out here. And one day it fell off and she couldn't take it home with her. So she buried it by the house, by the thing.
Oh,
The treehouse fortress thing.
Yeah, by our fort. And she's just gonna start digging for her little collar, and when she finds it, pick it up and set it down and go, this is mine. And this is ours. And her tail's gonna stop wagging.
Oh.
oh. Artemis getting serious. I like it.
All right. I think that is that's like a roll for initiative type situation there. That's throwing down the gauntlet there. So I think this can be this is sort of like a clubs or a diamonds sort of thing. I'm thinking I wrote down 5. The diamonds is like going to be, you're going to attack these coyotes that have been insulting you and taking up your space and insinuating that you're doing it the wrong way, and or you could kind of chase them off. Basically, I think that's what the 5 would be. The clubs would be more of a chasing them off rather than attack, rather than try and bite them. But you can do it either way you want as a group.
So I
But I
have 2
think
clubs, and also the club that Artemis has just inherently that I can
Yeah.
use once per.
Now,
Yeah.
clubs is which one?
The faster
clubs is
ones.
like the or like any sort of physical use, like if you had to like if you're trying to knock someone down or like chase someone down or chase someone off or something like that, some sort of show of force, prowess.
I
Whereas like the diamonds is like I'm gonna claw you and bite you and try to hurt you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because I don't have any clubs, but I do have. I have a diamond.
Yeah, I have a diamond by default from being big, but I also have a club to contribute if we go the faster route. So I am okay with either answer.
I have 2 diamonds plus my bonus diamond from Big. I have 1 club.
I think that,
Sounds like you could do either one
yeah.
Yeah,
if
we
I was
really
counting
could.
correctly.
So how many
But
are
I
we?
think
What's our grand total that we need for the challenge?
5.
5. Ooh.
5 of either.
Yeah, I want
5 of
I want
either.
5.
All right.
And
So
we have 5 of both.
I th- that's what it.
That's like a double success, right? They just leave without any sort of anything.
No. I think you'd have to describe what you did to actually invoke the. You still have to have to / get to describe what you what your.
We can go for the clubs. I mean, even though I don't have one, I can. I mean, I can pretty much imagine like Bandit, his hackles getting raised, and him barking and growling, and of course him being less than a foot tall, just trying his darndest to look and sound tough, which doesn't work until pretty much the 3 of you step past him and kind of tower over him. It's kind of that pack moment kind of thing. But
I like the idea of clubs too.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So yeah, if Bandit doesn't have clubs, but kind of set the scene. If you all want to spend your clubs, kind of describe your show of force, your speed, your bigness, your toughness, whatever you want to do to tell us what that looks like.
Well, Artemis is quick. So I think she would, once they've all kind of focused because her tail's not wagging anymore, I think once they're focused on her, she's going to pretty quickly, like, zip so she's on the other side of them.
Okay.
And she's full on, like, sturdy standing and got a scowl, growling maybe a little bit, but she's never really growled before, so this is weird for her.
What's it sound like, Cece?
We need to work on your growl, Artemis. Daily, however, just kind of positions herself just behind Bandit, if Bandit's okay with that. And just the deep chest growl that is actually kind of surprising because it fits for a dog her size. But she doesn't use it. She just kind of growls out, "Getting tired of y'all. You need to leave." That bared teeth snarl growl over Bandit, backing him up.
And London's going to puff his coat and tail out to make himself look a little bigger. And he's going to start slowly pacing, like kind of to follow Artemis, but it's a slow flank. He's definitely got his inner wolf is coming out. He's got the full on, like, the raised teeth. He's fully showing Fang as he's circling.
With your makeup, that actually looks fairly disturbing on stream.
Sorry?
No, like
No,
it's
no,
good.
Like
Good.
good,
You're,
like
you're,
good,
you're
like
playing
good.
the part.
We're supposed to be intimidating people.
You didn't put in like yellow contacts, did you?
No, that's just my eyes. That's
just
just
your
my that's just my poor health, Matt.
All right, so you are you are making this big show of force, and basically have told them in no uncertain terms that it is time for them to leave, and you've got your cards there, and then one of you had like the inherent thing too, right? That was yours,
Yes, that was
Artemis.
me.
Yeah, so that's your total of 5, and you have sort of intimidated this group of coyotes out of the. They're kind of like looking behind him, and the one that always is laughing is sort of like nervous laughing, and the coyotes are kind of like they're like they give like a little bit of a yip, like they're like kind of jumping out of your way daily, but then like the Artemis is right behind, so then here comes London in with like I think it's time for you to go, and or maybe you said that daily, but they're definitely like kind of yeah, we were just leaving, and like they kind of like you kind of see them kind of like they kind of like trot off, as you're kind of like growling after them, and they kind of are like almost like looking behind them as they leave, kind of almost like looking over their shoulders, checking, making sure that you're not actually chasing them, but they're kind of they're off at a trot down through the woods, off around the edge of the lake, away from the rest of the neighborhood.
As they take off, London will like again like get his haunches down and rear his neck up and just
Love it.
Artemis gets the tippy taps again because she's excited to have her clubhouse back with all her friends.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to make it smell like us again.
I think we're probably gonna take a few minutes to do that.
Bandits stand there all proud and acting like, yeah, I did that.
I did that.
I mean, yeah, Daily will let you have that because technically you did do that. Yeah, Daily goes off to part of the fort and just does that kind of sliding flop over maneuver against one of the pieces of the fort, hoping it holds her weight as a player, but she doesn't care. She goes, "Whop."
London's already starting to gather garbage.
All right.
Like he's nosing some of the chip bags and like the old bottles and cans. He's kind of like nosing them away from the fort.
All right, excellent. And there's definitely a lot of that to do. And yeah, there's probably like a lot of like waste inside as well, like maybe some bones and more of that the kind of stuff like chip bags and styrofoam containers that humans have food in, but then the coyotes have sort of brought it into the thing, and they've been eating that garbage as well as like there's leaving the bones around of things that they've tracked down or scavenged up. They found drowned and ate it or whatever. They've just left a real mess around this place.
Is there any chance
inside
there's a
and out.
squeaky toy in here somewhere?
Probably not your favorite one.
It doesn't have to be my favorite one. Every squeaky toy is my favorite one.
Maybe
So-
London turns one up in the piles of refuse that he's nosing around. There's an old chicken leg. It's got that
Like
looks like a
drumstick.
chicken leg, or
Yeah,
like a
like
turkey leg.
Yeah.
And the squeaker kind of works.
I love
Need
it.
to wash it off.
Here for it.
And
It
London
kind of
kind of noses
gurgles.
it.
Like it's got some
Noses
water
it.
in it still.
Noses it toward Artemis. Here.
Yay, yay, thank you, thank you, thank you. And she immediately starts like chomping on this thing. It barely squeaks,
It might look.
but she is so excited about it.
It sounds like that penguin in Toy Story. Like,
Less
See-
squeak.
Now, if we find a pile of rubber chickens that squeak, Daly might just lose her mind for that, but that's about it.
The,
Truly,
yeah.
this is the promised land.
Yeah,
Rubber
they washed
chickens
down
is-
from the rubber chicken factory.
rubber chickens as far as the eye can see.
Look at all these chickens.
That, if that happens. That being said, yeah. Dahlia's
Fuzzy
also
weekend
gonna,
moms.
Daly's gonna start helping with the cleanup effort, too.
Mhm.
Just getting it out of the pit.
Yeah, like it's not
house.
too hard to like kind of empty the treehouse itself or the fort itself from this debris, but there's a lot of it here. You can. I think this might have to be. What were you gonna say, Lon?
I was gonna say, I mean, London would probably spend the rest of the time there, like basically separating garbage out and burying it.
Okay. And I know you as dogs have been smart enough to use like put things in bags and carry them around in the past. So you might imagine that that's something that you would have to take care of or could do. But like if you're just gonna bury it here at least that it's off the surface, it would certainly look better.
We can certainly
also-
we can come back for it if it's buried. Then it won't blow around anymore.
Yeah, but like plus like digging is fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Have I shown you guys my trench?
Not yet.
No,
Yeah.
you made a trench.
Oh.
I'm making a trench. I'll show you when we get home.
Do you need help?
All right.
Yes. That would be delightful.
Dig a trench.
Yeah, I was gonna make you all roll like a mix of like if you wanted to perform to kind of do the digging, and then maybe fiddling to manipulate the trash around, and then maybe I think if you want to do the surviving to kind of like because what should be out here and what shouldn't be out here based on that
We'll
kind of
do
a
the
roll.
surviving roll because that's the only one he has points in.
Yeah, that gives you like a lot of different options to kind of contribute to sort of like just roll one of those three and kind of get just a sense. And again, you don't have to like talk through all of your choices in rolling. I just want to know how many successes you guys can generate on
I think with
performing,
his
fiddling, and surviving.
with
Yeah, I'm
London's
using
best
fiddling.
friend, with London's best friend being a hiker, it's definitely like pack out your trash. Like that's
Sure,
That's the
like,
vibe.
yeah. Did you drop one again?
Oh no.
I got 3 successes on performing to help with.
Oh man,
with
you're so good at digging. So good at
a bit
digging.
of digging.
Those are the ones that failed me earlier. I got 1 success in fiddling.
All right.
you go.
3
Find some trash.
successes.
All right, lots of picking through trash. You know what needs to get out of here. It's all the trash. It's all the waste.
London found like 3 or 4 of those like plastic rings for like pop cans.
Oh, sure. I was thinking like like also like plastic bottles probably that are they're kind of crunchy sounding, but they're not crunchy in that way.
Yeah.
I'll help sorting the trash out, figuring out what can stay and what can go. And I actually,
Alright.
for fiddling, got 3 successes.
Oh man! All right, so you got a total as a group of 10 successes on that. That's a lot of. You've certainly this immediate area around your little fort feels like you've kind of cleaned it up a little to a recognizable degree, and you still get it still smells kind of like the coyotes, but now that they're left, it'll probably air out in another few days. And you've definitely cleaned up the immediate area. It looks a little more familiar. It looks more like yours now that you've remove the worst of all this debris from this area of the woods. And whether you've piled it up in a little tidy pile or buried it or some combination of the two, like you definitely made it look a lot better around here, and you can maybe carry some out now or later, like you were saying. And so yeah, you've definitely like kind of reclaimed your turf here, and yeah, it's looking more like home, looking more like the neighborhood you get, or this edge of the neighborhood that you all know.
Yeah. Daly probably helps out by getting stuck a couple of times and just leaving her scent behind to kind of maintain, like make sure they don't come back.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta claim what's yours in the way dogs do. And I think that is the halfway point of our time, right? Am I?
Yep, we can definitely go ahead and break right there for a moment.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to close on that scene, and then we'll pick it back up later after our little mid session break.
All right, we will be back, everyone, and see y'all in about 10 minutes.
I am ready to.
All right, well, we are here then. Hi, everyone out there in the wonderful land of Twitch. We got Stevie just came in. Thank you so much for being here. And thank
Hi,
you so much
Stevie.
from the boys from the Baltic Star, boys of the Baltic Star. Glad to see y'all here as well. Always happy to have y'all in chat. So, turning it back over to Matt then.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah,
was-
sorry.
No, I amused myself because I was recently reminded of the movie We're Back, A Dinosaur Story, which I haven't thought about in literally years. And
Oh,
so you
man,
say we're
yeah.
back, and then I'm like, we're back. And now I've inflicted all of you who are old enough to know what that movie was with that memory as well.
But is that a bad
Yeah, I
memory,
understood
though?
that reference.
It doesn't have to be a bad memory, but it might inflict you anyway, or infect you. What did I say?
It might inflict you.
Inflict.
Oh no.
No, that's if you ever rent Mac and Me, and then there's infliction.
I know of that film, but not seen that one.
That's the one with the Sasquatch, right?
No, Mac
Or is
and
that
Me.
that's a different?
Mac and Me is the weird alien that looks like he's always whistling.
Oh yeah, that
Best,
one.
best known for the wheelchair chase through the woods.
The wheelchair
Off a cliff.
chase, and I think it was a 1.5 minute Pepsi commercial that actually happens in the middle.
Mm-hmm. That's accurate to 100%. Words
Hilariously,
are escaping me.
hilariously
Words.
useful. Not sponsored.
I've never heard of Mac and Me, so I just looked it up, and the cover of it looks like knockoff ET.
Yes, exactly.
Like there's literally a light, and they're like touching fingers with a light in the middle of it.
And they all
That's-
become Americans in the end. That's the best part. That's what's
No.
necessary.
Is,
Is that
Uh,
patriotism?
and,
Okay.
the person Thunderfunk brought up one of the best parts about Mac and Me, and that is, again, that Paul Rudd basically likes to rickroll Conan with it anytime he can. They'll be talking about one of Paul's upcoming projects, and the footage that Paul will show will be Mac and Me.
Oh man, that's
It's a
hilarious.
very long-running joke on their show.
Is Paul Rudd in Mac and Me?
No.
Or okay. I was trying to figure out if I could find the connection there, and I cannot. So
No, the connection is that Paul Rudd knows how bad good Mac and Me is, and loves to inflict it on Conan whenever he can.
now I want to know, when did E.T.
All right, so coming soon to Rook and Rasp, a Mac and Me actual play. Watch out for that. Watch out for that in the future.
Using the Ninja Crusade
meanwhile-
engine.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
drop it in chat. Tell me what game engine we should be playing that in for future reference.
This would be choice. I'm sure we could use +1 for it because it's the cards. I don't know. We could figure it out. Okay.
Are you announcing a new project, Matthew?
You have to start many projects to get any of them to finish. So sure, why not? You and me, we'll start it.
All right,
Oh no, I'm
I'm
not
on
committed.
board. I guess.
Yeah. You find me at email me at wetinkmat@gmail.com and we'll discuss it. All right. That is my real email. So yeah, email me if you want. If the rights holders are listening, we'll talk. Okay. Getting back to slightly less craziness. Here in the world of the neighborhood, you've just claimed your little hideout in the woods again, I think you were talking about heading back up into the neighborhood to look at Artemis's trench that she's digging, I think that's you can go do that if you want to do that next.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we
very
can,
excited about my trench.
we can do that, but at some point I want to go check on the other pack. Last we
Yeah.
saw him, that one was on his way home.
Snaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you saw Snips, and maybe there was another dog there. I can't remember if it was. I think it was Cicero that was
Yeah.
kind of met him at the woods. So that was the little Yorkie, and Cicero was scrolling back to week 2 notes. Cicero was the golden retriever, and that being a good boy and meeting Snips there when you saw him last. So yeah, so you guys are headed back up into the neighborhood. You were kind of headed toward see the trench at Artemis's place, but then you've talked about you want to go meet the pack from a few streets over too. So you can veer off there. Or you can check out the trench first, or whatever you.
Are we closer
wanna
to the
do.
trench, or are we closer to the place where we could cross to go to the other path?
It's probably like not equally distant from where you are. Like it's sort of like I imagine the rival pack only lives like a few streets away, so you could plausibly say that it wasn't necessarily out of the way to go check on the trench first.
No, if we're gonna work on the trench, we should see the other pack first.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we might get distracted until the sun is down, and then we don't want to have to try to figure out how to get back across the bridge. And oh my goodness, that sounds like a lot when it's dark outside.
Yeah. That sounds like a good plan. Do you think they'd meet us at the bridge? Because I really don't want to intrude on their territory.
We could howl for them.
Alright.
Howl for them. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like. I think the way that it was set up that, you talked about the bridge. You mentioned the bridge, and like, yeah, like now that the flow of the water is not so strong, like it was last time, it's back to like its normal dimensions as kind of like a trickle, and I imagine that it's sort of like it's like a street. Like this, almost like a culvert, like a little concrete, culvert, not a culvert, but like a concrete trench that you kind of imagine that they build in neighborhoods sometimes for drainage. That a tiny version of the LA River, if any of you know what.
Yeah.
If that means anything to anyone. But I imagine that it kind of goes that there's like a street with like. Sidewalks on each side of it or whatever, and so it's like a bridge. It is a bridge, but it's like for the car architecture of the thing, it would feel like there's no river there at all because you just drive the normal street across. But then for you on your paws, it does feel more like a bridge, like a large structure. But you know that like you could just walk down into the little stream and go up the other side. Like it's just got a trickle in it, but it's a few inches wide and like 2 inches deep at most. Or you could walk on the sidewalk across there. But you also talked about, you just mentioned like do some signal or something like that. So I don't know, you walk across or do that signal just to set the scene. I described this meeting
I feel like etiquette would be that we
territories.
would announce ourselves as we were approaching the bridge.
Yeah. Okay. And you are gonna you're on the bridge part of it, like I guess gonna walk across the sidewalk or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you kind of do you want to give us what that might sound like, London? I know you've.
Well, I thought in this particular case, this was Bandit's crusade, so maybe Bandit would give us a little taste.
Ooh.
I don't. I sadly don't howl. Sorry. Too many years of playing.
Give him the same.
Too many people and
Give
too
him the
many years
same,
of werewolf LARP. I can't anymore. But what I'd say is that we're. I can imagine like one of us getting started and making whatever doing our little bark and another one adding to it, however it is they do a bark or
Mm.
a howl or
Well,
whatever.
well,
And
John, if you want to bow, if you want to bow out of the howl, then maybe the other three of us would actually do a little group howl.
I'm down for a group howl. I say,
Daily, can we do a group howl?
Sure.
All right.
all right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Is it
Count it
on 3 or
off.
after 3?
But let's do on 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh!
Oh!
That was
You
the
see-
thing that just happened, everybody.
yeah,
That was
That just
delightful.
happened.
see, in my mind, I was kind of looking for that Ninja Turtles, the newer movies where they're all in the elevator together and they start making music together, and like one starts and another one adds another thing. Did anybody
I mean,
besides me even go to see
We can
those?
try that again. I'll just do a solid note, and the rest of you can throw in a little bit of.
Yeah, we can harmonize it.
Nah, let's
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah, I think
Hey, hey.
Hey.
All
hey,
right, so-
hey.
I'm just
so
here for a
you
second.
you make this sort of announce yourselves as you said, and you are there. And let's see, we haven't talked to if we saw. Let's have Benny be the other one. Benny was the Saint Bernard, and so you kind of have. There's like a moment of where nothing really happens, and then a little bit of time you have to wait. There's not an immediate response, which isn't too surprising because the people can be anywhere in the neighborhood. But after a little bit of time, then you do have this sort of slow lumbering gait of the Saint Bernard. Benny kind of comes to the kind of around some. I don't know, there's like a fence that's kind of 2 yards away, like a privacy fence. So it's got the wooden pieces, and you can't really see until here comes Benny around the corner, and it's he kind of plots. He's not like running at you guys, just kind of like it's almost like a slow lope, but he's such a big dog that he's still coming pretty quickly. It doesn't take him long to like lope his way from 2 yards away to like kind of the other side of the bridge, and. Sort of like he says, like we acknowledge your request, your announcement. I grant you permission to cross the bridge in friendship and no funny stuff.
Friends. Hi, Ben.
Yes, friends. He's kind of like wagging his tail in response. Like he's a friendly, despite being very large. He can be friendly. And then he's kind of like what, like so he kind of like after this sort of more formal like acknowledgement or whatever, he kind of comes like partway up to the bridge and kind of like, he's ready to, boop snoots with you if you want, or whatever kind of dog greetings are appropriate. He's sort of like he's not like kind of bouncing like you do, Artemis. He's a little more just almost like he's excited to see you guys, I guess, or not excited, but he's like it's you're just other dogs. He's just kind of excited to you guys, and as you probably haven't seen him since you've been. Well, you definitely haven't. That's why this whole thing. You haven't seen him in a while, like since before the flood. Probably since the pupcakes at the birthday party. It's probably the last time you saw him.
Yeah.
And that's been like a while ago. And well, he's kind of like there and like, so what are you guys? What brings you guys over to this side of the bridge? What's the news?
Wanted to make sure
What's going on?
your pack's all good. Everybody made it home.
And he's like yeah, we're all here. We're all here. Snips told us all about how you rescued him or what. We can get everybody together and we can we just yeah, he'll wanna say thanks. I'm sure he told us. You're, yeah. And so then
Good.
he's kind of like turning around and kind of like leading you back. You know, he only came like, I don't know, a quarter of the way across or whatever. So like, he's kind of leading you, and he's kind of like, yeah, come on, we'll get
Charging
everybody
after him.
together. And he starts
Yeah.
barking out, sort of like man, I put myself in a trap now. So he's kind of given his like neighborhood bark, which is more like a real short, sort of like almost like it's I'm imagining it as like
Not
it
quite
just
like an alert.
no more like he's just like "Row, row, 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 row," you know, like kind of barking like just real short a short series of their deep I bark too high pitched. It's got to be lower pitched because he's a big dog. So "Row, row, row," you know, just going out to the neighborhood like real resonant, and you know it's gonna be heard by fellow dog kind.
It's the kind
And
of bark that Daly uses when she needs attention. So
yeah, yeah, it's not too different. And yeah, so you go, and he kind of takes you to, and it's kind of like I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but like when you go to like a neighborhood that's like a similar age to your own, and so the buildings that are like they look the same, and it's like just across town, and it's just not your neighborhood, but it doesn't look that different because all the houses are built at the same age, or the apartment building is built in the same style. It's like, oh wait, this looks just like every other place, except it's not the same place. That's kind of the feel you get from being over here. Like the houses are kind of all on the same grid. There's the same city infrastructure, the same curbs, the same
yeah,
wires overhead. The houses are similar shape and similar size, but they're just nothing's right. Like the 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 flower pots on the porches have different flowers in them than are on your street, and the the colors of the cars in the driveways are different. It just gives you that little bit like, oh, it's similar, but it's not.
it's.
It's like, I don't know. What were we gonna say?
I was just saying, like, it's different enough to be just a little disorienting.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like it's almost like that, I guess, that uncanny valley thing where you're like, oh yeah, this is just like, oh no, it's not at all like uh, my side of the street, but it's basically the same. Um, and so you guys are over there, and and you go to probably Cicero's house, I think, and Snips is there, and Andre is there as well, and so the four of them are there, and they are all uh, they're all they're kind of hanging out on a porch in a yard, and you see like yeah, it's kind of like the house has like a big yard, and somebody has made sure all the like it's a kind of a the house is set back from the street in such a way that the most of the yard is in the front yard, and it looks green and inviting, as if that there a lot of the effort has been put in to restore the cleanliness of the yard here at this yard. It's great. It looks almost picture perfect, right? The yard is here. Let's see. What else? Other notes do I have? Yeah, so you all can have like yeah, you can meet these other characters.
Oh, Artemis is already there. She's jumping around, trying to play, downward doggy, tail just absolutely slapping.
Sure. And
You can almost hear the it breaking the sound barrier every time it completes a semicircle.
Crack, 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 crack.
Uh, it's called Happy Tail syndrome. Um,
HTS is a real issue. Contact your veterinarian today.
Hey,
Uh,
hey,
I love your
you
hey.
so you're all good. You're all here.
Um, yeah, and like especially Cicero is kind of like ready to is kind of like ready to play with you, Artemis, and kind of doing the same sort of like tail wagging, and like, doing that downward dog thing, like just ready to meet you point for point. And Snips is on the porch, running around, kind of barking, and you and you ask that question though, uh, Bandit, and I want you to make a sensing roll, and
Okay.
yeah, I want you to make
Uh,
a sensing roll, and I want you to get, I don't know, let's say, well, no, give you just low, just at least once, give you a couple successes,
all right.
give me a couple successes.
I actually have none in sensing, so I'm gonna spend one to have the ability to have the skill, and I'll spend two to get some pips in it, and that'll give me one for rerolls or to push die up.
Alright.
And that is gonna be 1-5. And I'm gonna, if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna use my last pip to knock it up 1 point, and then we actually got from Thunderfunk. If y'all don't mind, I'll use the dog treat to go ahead and push myself up the last pip, so that I have 2 successes.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So you notice that there's a little bit of hesitancy. Like they're sort of like, Snips especially, like because you're kind of like on each other's easiest for you to like talk to each other, because you're both the smaller dogs. Snips is sort of like, oh yeah, yeah, everything here, like doing fine. But like with your sensing, you're like, no, this is not everything is uh, is it's pretty obvious that everything is not everything is totally fine. Um, when Snips is trying to say that, and yeah, and
Would he feel more comfortable if Daly was at the edge of the yard just keeping back? Because that's probably what Daly's doing.
you don't necessarily like. I don't know. Like, it's, you guys have it, Snips especially knows like you were right there and instrumental in the like the rescue at the creek. So like he's not necessarily wary of you in that way. The Now that you notice it, like you are kind of looking, and the the you're not too surprised that Andre, the Weimaraner, is not like in the yard, like running and rolling around with happiness, because he seems sort of a stoic, sort of dignified sort of dog. But like you, it's not just that he's not uh, rolling around. Like you're kind of like um, he's sort of holding back from participating in these games. Yeah.
I Bandit kind of picks up on that. He'll actually, even though not really necessary, lowers himself a little bit more, trying to make himself seem non-threatening and not trying to be pushy or show off. But he's like, "What? What happened?"
It's so it's Snips is he will tell you that it's sort of like, oh, he just had like he had a real rough time getting out of the neighborhood when the water came up, and I don't know. I don't. He just hasn't been the same. Been the same since then. You know, we just think he just needs some more time to you know, more play, right? And then he kind of like, it's kind of he's trying to push it aside. He kind of like runs at you and like play bites at you, and then like runs off like he expects you to, you know, looking back with his tongue hanging out like see, we're just gonna play, right? And Benny is there that led you up there. Daily, you're kind of holding back and Benny's like, you, you want to wrestle? You want to see who can pull this? And like he kind of comes up with like a piece of rope, like one of those like pieces of rope that has the like multicolored little strands in it, and like kind of throws it down and beside you, and he's like he basically comes right for you at the side. He's like, you want to see who's stronger?
Not sure. Because she's not competitive at all, but she still wants to have some fun.
Yeah, it's just it could be friendly competition. That's all. Like if you wanna do chew toy tug of war with Benny, the opportunity's there. I thought specifically because you had mentioned doing that at the Wild Hunt, so I don't think we actually drew cards for it.
Yeah. I mean,
but if you want to,
nah. I mean, it's Daly's fine whether she wins or loses. She's just like, okay, let's have some fun.
It's all about winning.
Daly doesn't know what the word "win" means. That's one of the human words that she just like. Meh?
I'm gonna take some of these cards and see what I get. I'm gonna draw a little hand here for Benny. So I think. So this is what I've got. Like, I've just got one feat of strength. That's the hand I drew. So I've got one card. And do you have more clubs than that?
That is the only club I have, and it
yeah.
replaced the one I spent in the previous competition.
All right. So you and Benny, you're like evenly matched. That's great. I don't know what we do with the discards.
Yeah, I just been putting them right
We've
there.
put so many.
They're just all clubs.
Yeah, just all clubs discarded. Yeah, so you guys have a little wrestle, and like you can't really determine who's stronger. Like maybe because you're each kind of trying to not prove that it's you. You haven't really given it your all. Maybe I think that's what the only one card in might mean. But like it's still undecided. Or like you said, you're not too competitive, so like it's still undecided.
Yeah, this is the most politest dog tug of war match you've ever seen, probably.
Yeah, it's like definitely it like the people who are watching are sort of like, oh man, they're really gonna get started any minute now. But then you just decide like, oh well, we're evenly matched, that's fine. And then you're just kind of, I imagine Benny is just there kind of just panting, like not because he's had to exert himself, just because it's like a nice, like comfortable moment.
Yeah, the grass is lush and green too. It's just Daly's probably just gonna flop down when she's done. Just like, nah, this is a good chance to just lay down and cool off.
All right, before we circle back to the Andre thing, is there anything you, London, in particular want to do here at this like dog neutral? It's not exactly neutral ground, but it is sort of like, it's like maybe the first time that the packs have really kind of hung out together. Like you met each other and you had a experience when the waters were coming up, but this is probably the first time that you're really hanging out together. What's
London is playing it safe. He's sniffing the various scents in the yard, He's kind of ambling around slowly, deliberately, and doing his best not to offend Cicero, the host. And just kind of watching and just taking in what everybody's doing, keeping an eye on his pack, making sure everybody's good. And then he'll just kind of sit and lay down. He'll cross his paws in front of him, and he'll just.
So a lot of just chill hanging out. A lot of just chill hanging out. And so like it probably takes a little while, but yeah, you kind of it takes a while for you all to notice. You're all kind of that initial sort of like playing around, and then probably about the time that you've all done your initial little relaxation or meeting each other, then you all kind of notice that like Andre is still kind of hanging out on the porch. Like he hasn't come into the yard. He doesn't look excited at all. He's not barking at anyone. Like, you kind of all know that, and that you kind of all pick up on that, and you've kind of investigated that already, Bandit. So you can kind of take the lead on what happens next, whether or not you push this issue or whatever. It's up to you.
Would Daly have noticed that too?
Yeah, I think you all kind of take note of, like you had this little wrestle with Benny, and then you're both kind of relaxing, and you're like, Andre, he's not really relaxed. He looks kind of hangdog.
Is he like on like a little porch thing?
Yeah, I imagine he's like on, I think a nice brick, one of those brick patios, red bricks that are like kind of fancy, and I think that would contrast nicely with the green of the grass.
The background for Andre is also an Insta dog, correct?
Yeah, he was an Insta dog, and he was the sort of like in thinking of the pack equivalents, like that's sort of the equivalent of Artemis, like the well groomed, the most energetic, the most photogenic human who is constantly putting him out there.
Bizarro Artemis, got it.
Can I make a sensing roll?
Yeah.
Because I've got the 2 pips to begin with, and I'm using 3 of my 4 to add dice to that. And I'm going to use that other pip to reroll. These dice aren't rolling well for me tonight.
Same here.
That's 1 success. So that's 1.
Just
out
one.
of 5 dice.
Yeah. For just one.
Actually, the other dog treat on the table. Do y'all mind if I use that one, or does anybody object?
Go for it. Yeah.
Because one of them is a 4, so I can flip that to a 5
Oh,
to make it a 2 successes. So yeah, 2 successes.
All right, so you keying in on Andre, and like you kind of sense that his mood is what you would describe as sort of like he's tense. He's sort of like nervous. It's like you've never seen him nervous before. He was such a stately, chill dog, and his sort of like he's just kind of he's sort of like ready for a dangerous thing to happen at any time right now. He's like expecting something awful to occur at any moment. He's real nervous and very just tense and nervous. That's what you pick up on.
I kind of was planning on this before, but because Bandit's not going to jump in with all the play and everything else. He, I think, will wander over and kind of flop on his side near him, exposing a little bit of belly.
Sure.
And he'll look up
Deal
at
for a
him.
dog.
Yeah.
But not a lot.
He's
You
like,
don't want to.
hey, hey. Try and get his attention. And he'll even he's like, I can't believe I'm going to do this, and he'll actually do like a stretch on his back, and put on the Shih Tzu charm for a brief moment. He is a cute breed,
Mm-hmm.
and rolls over after a good stretch, and he's like, hey, just take it one bark at a time. I'm just trying to calm him down a little bit.
Yeah. Uh, he's kind of like he's almost like if like a dog could mumble, that's kind of like what you get from him. He's kind of like yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one bark. He kind of just repeats what you said. Yeah, one bark at a time. But real low. Um, real gentle. Not super confidently repeating what you're saying. So I have set this up as a.
Pardon me.
Go ahead. Go
No.
ahead, Artemis. You were starting to say something.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like at this point there's been like a lot of rough housing between Cicero and Artemis, and they
Mm-hmm.
probably stopped a little bit for a breather.
Mm-hmm.
And she notices this going on over on the porch. I think she's gonna make her way over, and she's not gonna go on the porch, but she's gonna sit down kind of in front of it and lay her face down and go, "Are you okay? You seem sad."
Yeah, I think he's. I think with two of you kind of focused on him, it's like almost what he's kind of like doesn't really want the attention drawn to himself, but it is sort of like it's like just uh, um, he's like maybe just slightly less mumbly than the last thing he said, but just like just what if the water comes back? What if the water comes back? Like just
Oh,
can't he can't he can't imagine yeah, that's all he says. That's all he says.
the water's not coming back. You wanna know how I know? The puddle isn't too big anymore.
What wasn't too big? Yeah.
You just gotta watch the puddle.
He's kind of nodding, kind of nodding. He can kind of envision that that's a thing that he could do. So I've set this kind of up as a conflict because he wants to be left alone, and you guys are all kind of trying to bring him out at the moment. And so I think this kind of requires. So what I have set this up as is this is to kind of break this particular moment of the mood. Not that like to the extent that like we're abstracting greatly like mental health. So this isn't necessarily like the solution for all time, but yeah, I think like a little bit of charming, either so three hearts or a little bit more friendship, so five spades, or you could kind of just like push him out into the yard and get him to play a little bit, like three paw or four paws. So like it's kind of up to you, kind of how you want to approach
Got
this
this.
as
Yeah,
as kind of a as a thing.
I mean, I know we got the three hearts covered just on Artemis alone, but can we also add more to just kind of overwhelm him with like just
Oh
cuteness
yeah,
and
that's so cute.
Yeah, I have. London has one heart to contribute.
I think I have
Alright.
one automatically for my breed.
Yay!
Yeah.
We're gonna love this dog so hard.
All right. So you could put in down a bunch of hearts, and yeah, like describe how your playing of hearts what that looks like. If you've played more hearts, then it's kind of a bigger show. If you've played one, it's sort of a lesser effort to kind of charm
When
Andre in this
when
moment.
Artemis mentions checking you can always check the puddle. London will kind of leap to his feet and kind of run back and forth. Yeah, we can all check the puddle. It affects us too. We can combine the packs and we can all go check the puddle together.
Party!
I Daily being cute is just a weird thing because it's not something that comes naturally to her, but she does kind of give a little bit of a roll onto her back and gives that little scratchy wiggle and says, "Yeah, we can go check the puddle and I can teach you how to swim if that would make you feel better."
We could dig a trench.
Or dig a
I'm
trench.
getting a trench. Do you want a trench?
Ooh.
We could
No, I
get you a
think-
trench.
I think you might. I'll need to go dig your trench first. Can see if he wants one.
Yeah, we can do my trench first and then show him how cool my trench is.
Yeah.
And then we can dig him a trench.
All right. Anyone else have any hearts that they played?
Yeah,
Wasn't
she just
watching
straight
the
up is
screen.
like, she's still tippy-tapping, like, we
Oh,
can
you-
check
so
the
many
puddle,
hearts.
we can dig a trench, we can all the things, and she's like, and if you want, we can wrestle.
Perfect.
We just overwhelm him with cuteness.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's definitely a charm offensive, in that sense. Just imagine a lot of tails wiggling, and yeah, I mean this is a pretty much a unqualified success in that area. Get kind of like Andre is sort of like he's able to kind of like I don't know, like kind of not his head isn't hanging so low. He tail kind of starts to wiggle a little bit, and he's like, oh, okay. Tell me more about this trench. Like what is that? Let's yeah. Tell me more about that.
Let me tell you about my trench.
And he's almost like kind of getting up off of the porch to kind of like leaning into your story, right? About like you're telling him about your great plans of your great excavation plan.
Yeah, how I saw the humans making it so that the water went away by digging, and so now I'm digging so that we can make the water go away. It's beautiful and very exciting for all of us.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I think you want to go. I don't know what the. I did not
Can we
have.
bring them home to dig with us so I can
Yeah,
show
I
them
think-
my trench?
Yeah, I think I want that to happen. So yes, I think I
trip!
want. I think I want
Going on a
a.
trench hunt. We're gonna hunt a trench.
Yeah, I think I want a. I think I want the two packs to work together on this issue to produce this trench according to your instruction, Artemis.
Oh heck yeah!
And
And
so-
you
Trenches?
dig it.
You could say that we're getting diggy with it.
Oh,
You could if you had to, you could. All right, perfect. I think that's a good way to do what's next. So then, yeah, I think you. Yeah, I think you propose that you go over now to your house and direct the operation there. You probably some. I imagine you, Bandit, have a. There's probably like a similar formality when you guys you leave Cicero's house and you all kind of go and you get to the bridge, and then there's like a little like. It's not as formal as the last time because you're kind of all together, but there is sort of like a, yes, you goodbye, you left our territory. Oh, now you're in our space. Like an exchange of like looks and little barks and stuff like that, and then you arrive at Artemis's house. And yeah, Artemis, why don't you tell us what you want all the dogs to do?
Okay.
Or I mean, especially the other pack, because you've managed to interest Andre in something when he has been feeling so low for the last little while. They're super ready to support anything that he wants to do. So therefore, you've kind of got them under your paw. I don't know, like
I love
wrapped
it.
around your snout. I don't know what the I
All
don't know
of
what the proper phrase is.
It's right on the tip of my tail.
Yeah.
So Artemis so far, she hasn't dug too much. What she's done is she has found some spots, starting by the fence in front of her house, where she has dug just like little divots in, nothing too crazy, but she's dug them. And what we got to do now is we got to dig them deeper and then connect them all. So I think what we're going to do is we're all going to get our own little spot to dig in. And it's not the whole entire yard, but she's definitely found like a good maybe 8 or 10 foot long just like patch of grass that she has just like prepared because this is a thing she wants to do. She's helping her mom.
It's like a doggy dotted line.
Exactly. And so we're going from like a little nosed, like tiny hole in the ground to a much larger hole in the ground. We're gonna see how long it takes for Mom to notice, and just be so thrilled.
Yeah,
about the fact that we're helping.
Yeah, I think. Well, let's dig the hole first, and then we'll see what Becky or Buffy thinks of this. But yeah, and the other three of you, you may be. I think the way things have played out with the charm offensive, like the other pack is kind of following Artemis's direction without question, but the other three of you can think this is a great idea. You might want to give some direction, some additional suggestions. I don't know. It's up to you what you want to do. But she's got there's a 5-dog team getting ready to dig this moat.
And Andre gets the first
like
great.
The golden shovel.
The golden shovel belongs to Andre.
The other three of you, you're all in for this project, this excavation attempt.
Yeah.
Daly might be hanging back herself just because, while she can dig, she doesn't want to dig the trench too big because she is larger than Artemis.
Yeah, you can supervise.
I can bark a warning.
Yeah.
There you go.
Be our lookout.
Awesome.
Someone's got to tell me when my mom's coming.
Yeah. And how about you? You digging? Are you watching?
I'm watching.
I'm trying to dig, but I can only imagine how sad it looks.
Well, with so many dogs digging, it's hard to tell exactly how much contribution any one particular dog is making. So, you can just kind of take credit for as much as you want. Great. I do not know how. I think I don't necessarily feel that we need to do skill rolls for this because it's sort of like, the again this trench area. I think there's enough dogs involved and sort of purely narrative that you can succeed in directing them to construct the thing as you want constructed, without before anyone notices. I think you get like a good. I don't know, like how it's not like you're out there all day because this is already probably afternoon when you started, but like what feels like a nice day's effort accomplished without any
Well, we
anyone trying to stop
definitely,
you.
accidentally took out at least one of Mom's flower plants that's on the front. Um, so that's kind of like upheaved into the side. I think I don't.
Maybe one sprinkler line got a little damaged. There's a little bit of water
Yeah.
shooting out one of the holes.
Definitely.
And we're all trying to
she's using that to like show like look, the water in the trench. And it goes that way. See?
Perfect. I think this is amazing, and
London's
you're
definitely
so
trying to eat the water.
yeah. And I think you are supremely impressed with your efforts. You feel very confident that
I'm doing
this
my part.
you're doing your part exactly. And you're there's just so much doggo excitement happening with all of the efforts that have been done, and like even if you're a little skeptical about it, Daily, like this is like I mean I can't deny that she had to dig a big hole. Like this is
This Daily is impressed. It was like,
this is a lot of work, that has been done.
Does Andre seem like he's in a better mood?
Yeah, I mean, yes, this is
That's all that matters.
this is the not necessarily the end of his current journey, but this has definitely been an enjoyable afternoon. He's been reminded a bit of the like some of the joys that are possible, even if maybe he has a different perspective about like how some things could be more fleeting, like had in the between times. Um, so yeah, I think that's great. You've definitely, and the other thing on like a kind of a scale than just like Andre's sort of like being his sort of like nervousness and in the aftermath of the flood, like you've done this big activity together now as like the two neighboring packs, your streets and their streets, and you've come together for this big effort, which it means something to the neighborhood as far as like working on this together has you're like maybe we work together on things in the future. And I think that this is like a and maybe you knew this, and that's maybe this is if you can this is sort of like maybe Buffy had some stuff to do that took time. Took a lot longer than normal. She's going to be home later tonight. She had like an event or something that she had to go to, like right from her work, and then she went to an event, and so she's home, and it's already dark by the time she gets home. So like this will be like a surprise for the future. Like she won't find out about this today. This will be like a surprise for tomorrow when she leaves for work, I guess. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know. I think
I
it'll
think
be
also part of the fun will be coming home and just finding Artemis absolutely covered in mud. Just like absolutely knocked out.
Did Artemis fall asleep in the trench?
Buffy comes home and goes to like walk inside, and just she sees Artemis's tail around the side of like their little front step area, and Artemis is literally just like laid back chilling, so happy in this trench that they all dug together. She's so tired and so proud.
So I think then that Buffy is sort of like I still feel like I'm not sure what the full extent of the impact of the trench will be. I don't know that we'll find that out this
There's a
play
high
session.
there's a high pitched scream that echoes through the neighborhood of Artemis.
I think that's the end of the episode, but we're not there yet. So I think for now, if this is like it's sort of like the darkness and the like you're passed out in like some mud and in the front yard, and so that's sort of like getting you in the house and like
Mm.
at least cleaned up enough to go to sleep. Kind of takes over the the investigating further around the house to see how big the hole is. I think that waits for some other time. But I think for now, so this is day, and the tomorrow will be another day. But I think for tonight, get your we've all had these adventures, and the neighborhood has been put back together slightly. We still have more time, so I think we'll do more stuff like the next day, kind of like. Um, but I think the way this has been described, I think it has to be like the end of this day. And so I think maybe we'll do. We can get in. I think we can have time for some more events. I don't think we need to start like wrapping up yet. But
Maybe Artemis, maybe Buffy is actually away on a trip and won't be home for a day or two. So we can definitely end the episode with that when
yeah,
Mom
I think that
returns.
I think the realization is how we. Um, sure, I like that. If you, I mean, we've thrown in a couple different ideas here. I don't know what you're feeling.
Whatever CC wants to do with
I
this
kind of
situation.
love the idea of it just kind of ending on maybe instead of her finding me napping in the trench we've dug, I'm in the house and I'm muddy, but it's the next morning when I'm proudly trying to show her what we've done. Because otherwise she's just like, oh, you got dirty. You probably like went down to the lake
Right.
or something. But then the next morning, it's like, Mom, come look. I did a thing. It's beautiful. You're gonna love it. And that can be the next morning.
Right.
After we've all gotten some good sleep and a bath.
Yes.
Okay, so I think then if that's what is happening there, I think I want to do because we haven't had your best friend involved in this episode at all. So I think you guys you do the big effort, like the sun is starting to go down, um, or it's starting to get that kind of like golden hour light, and then like the packs kind of separate, and it's like we'll see you again sometime, you know, and you head off. They head off back to their side of the neighborhood, and you guys are there, and you kind of all know that it's like I should go see my friend now. And so I don't know, give us
Dinner
like
time.
yeah, it's dinner time, it's time to chill, like you've run down to the woods, you attacked some coyotes, you ran back up to the neighbors, then you did this big digging effort. Like I don't know, what is it like with your people? And we can yeah, what is it like with your people? What kind of story do you want to share with us about like your dog and person like, after the um, kind of trying to clean up around the neighborhood and kind of put things right, check on things. What's going on in your houses? What's with your human? What have they? What do you think? They what do you think you as the characters about? Or what are their the humans are kind of NPCs like but like they're your NPC in a way yeah,
I,
just what do you think the night looks like for each of you?
I mean, I know what Daly's probably doing.
Yeah.
Probably Becky was been doing while Daly was gone. Um, Daly returns home and in the corner next to a brand new desk. Not new computers, because she managed to save the computers, but brand new desk and setup. There's also a brand new dog bed,
Ah,
because
all
Daly
right.
lost her old one.
Right.
So it looks about the same. Daly sniffs it. And then she lays down, and something speaks. And it's also a brand new rubber chicken. And Daly just goes, ooh, squeaky, 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 squeaky. That's all you hear for like an hour. It's a rubber chicken.
Nice.
And then, yeah. Becky probably laughs and takes a couple of pictures to send to Buffy, and they settle in for the night of paper writing and quiet company. Mostly quiet.
Oh,
Nice.
I would think that for Bandit, his best friend Jimmy probably couldn't get started back to work immediately after the flood, so probably has been helping everybody, going around, pulling sheetrock for people, pulling out the soaked insulation, stuff like that, and finding a little bit more purpose in the neighborhood. I figure that's what he's been doing during the day. And I just imagine the two of them, end of the night, Dad's, or my best friend comes in and sits down on the couch, exhausted, but feeling like he's done a good thing and done a lot of work. And Bandit, dusty and a little bit muddy now, jumps up on the couch next to him, and TV's on, and they just basically fall asleep on the couch.
Aw,
oh.
Like it.
I can see that.
All right.
So-
And that'll take us to London, who
Yep.
arrives home after the epic trench digging, runs into the backyard, barks into the air a couple times for Tommy to come out. And before Tommy can get out there, London is already holding the hose and kind of running back and forth across the yard. Tommy comes out, utters a few words that London's heard before, but he's not sure what they mean. And then Tommy will grab the hose and start spraying London down, and London again kind of goes ham on trying to grab the water, eat the water instead of trying to bathe. And he shakes off in the yard, and then Tommy lets him into the mudroom. They dries him off, and then they both kind of crash out on the couch.
Nice. And for you, Artemis, what after you, because you kind of started the night already with the getting the finding you sleeping in with your muddy stuff in the house. But what else happened? Give us a more elaborate scene.
Definitely Buffy got home and walked in and found muddy Artemis hanging out, taking a nap, snuggling with her favorite toy that happened to survive the flood. And she probably also says a couple of choice words, snaps some pictures, and then goes and starts a bath. So Artemis gets to take a nice warm bath, and then they just go and lay down, and I don't know, I think Buffy might do a little bit of meditation before she goes to sleep, and Artemis helps. And then they go to bed.
Nice.
Nice. Wonderful. I think I think you all, after your efforts of the day, I think you all sleep wonderfully. Any dreams that you have are all pleasant dreams, and I think that's you wake ready for more adventures the next day. And I don't know. I mean, again, we've got about 20 minutes left to go. I think we can do one more, try one more little thing before we get to our, I don't know, the climactic cliffhanger discovery at the thing that we've already agreed to set up. I know you mentioned I think we've got more time, and you've mentioned both. You looked for the bushy tails a little bit and didn't find it. The Roy the squirrel was mentioned
Ah, yes.
Oh,
also.
yeah.
So I think we can do like the next day. You have maybe some more adventure, trying to solve more of the problems of the neighborhood, if you'd like. Or we can do. I mean, I don't know. We're pushing time a little bit later. I don't know. It's up to you guys if we want to pick up with the next day, or did we a good place? I don't know. What do you feel is? Because I don't want to like shortchange the stream, but I also don't want to like
I
make
kind
it.
of feel like the closure with the other pack and that's actually a really good spot. I don't know from London's perspective. I don't know what else London has to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
John,
feels like a good-
how are you feeling, John?
I think this is a great ending. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
end of the Disney Three Musketeers. You know, we're walking out. We have our little capes on. You know.
I have an idea of how Roy could be tied into the ending.
Sure,
Let's do it.
sure.
Roy is in Artemis's yard, digs up an exposed cache of, last winter's hidings.
Sure.
Buffy sees it, follows him around the corner
Mm.
to where she sees the trench.
Was it a sneeze, or were you raising your?
No, I yelled Artemis.
Oh,
I was doing it like Dave when he yells Alvin,
yeah. Okay.
but I was trying not to scream directly into the microphone. So,
All right. Wonderful. And I think yes, I think things are back to normal in a lot of respects, because you're also just getting in trouble for normal things. You know,
Kind of
maybe.
like I like the idea of that Artemis, like the Artemis scream happening, and like there's a quick shot of each of the dogs at their respective homes, and each of the dogs' heads like just pops up like,
Wasn't
like
me.
a free shot, like it's like a boom, 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 and like you see all
Yeah.
three dog heads go. Foop.
Yep. I think that sounds great.
A floppy ear just goes, wheesh.
Yep. I think that sounds great.
I love it.
All right. Yeah. So thanks for doing a game about doing dog stuff. I think we've done a bunch of dog stuff
Thanks
for
for
the last
making
5
a
weeks.
game about doing dog stuff, because that was
Exactly.
phenomenal.
Exactly.
I love it.
I
All
think I
right.
might run a session of this at next CupaCopperCon, maybe.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
'cause this is
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think when I think I told you all that earlier that we'll send you all books. We'll send you all when we get it done. We'll send you all books.
Thank you.
Thank
So-
you.
Thank
I
We'll
you.
have to collect
definitely
your
have-
addresses for that.
Some friends with kids with dogs, and they will absolutely eat this up.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a good
All
game
right.
for all ages. Well, Matt, do it really quick. Do we want to go through and everybody go ahead and mention where people can find y'all?
Wait.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
So, I guess I'll start again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Corey, you can find me on The Rook and Rasp. I'm here occasionally. You can also find me at the Midnight Alley podcast on Instagram and on YouTube. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in the upcoming weeks, so it's going to be fun. Look forward to seeing everything happening. So, y'all have a good night from me.
Yeah, I'm Sierra. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, etc. at Csilencio. You can also find me on the Drunken Geek podcast at Drunken Geek Pod. And yeah, this has been absolutely phenomenal. If you get a chance, pick up a copy once it's released. Because
That's right.
Is amazing.
It's pre-order. The Kickstarter page was turned into a pre-order page, so search for it on Kickstarter, and you can hit pre-order if you weren't a backer already.
Best. Thank you.
Well, I'm Michael. You can find me on projects that are all on hiatus right now. But go on out to Gone out to redemptionpodcast.com. It's a Star Wars actual play. That's a fun listen. You can also catch me on episodes of Chaos Inc. on the Identico YouTube channel. It's IDENTECO. That's a cyberpunk game. We are again on hiatus until next month. And then you can catch me on occasion here at Rook and Rasp doing stuff with this fine crew of folks. And I'll just echo everyone's thanks, Matthew. This was a lot of fun. Again, it was like, I like the fact that they were all kind of low stakes games, but they were all very fun and entertaining to play through. And we had a great group of people here, and you ran a wonderful game. So thank you very much.
It's been very fun to play.
It's fun to play with all you who have committed to the bit so hard.
Hopefully somebody clips that howl moment, because that was actually kind of fun.
I think we have the technology.
I think we do too. All right.
All right. Well, Matt, you want to go ahead and say something before I
I'll
close
go
this out?
and then that'll be work. I'm Matthew Orr, one half of Wet Ink Games. We are a indie game publisher. This game is forthcoming. Should be done. Hopefully, I don't know. Next few months, be great. Depends on how long it takes. Look for it later this year. You can find us at a lot on Facebook, a bit on Instagram. We also have a YouTube, and we've got lots of games, other games. You can see all of our games also on our website at wetgames.com. And I will personally be at Origins. I'll be spending a lot of my time at Indie Game Developer booth, which will be at 12:33 in the Wet Ink Games. You can check out a lot of our merch. Possibly get a demo of this. We're not exactly sure when the schedules will be, but I will probably have some point throughout the next week be there at the table to demo the game. So if you want to play it with me there, look for me there at that's across the aisle at 32, the Wet Ink booth.
Yeah. All right, we feeling good, Matt?
Yeah.
All right.
Feeling
Well,
fine.
everyone, thank you so much for coming out for the opportunity to play this because, here at Rook and Rasp, we really do love indie games. We want to be able to bring what is out there to everyone, give everybody a better glimpse of the industry at large. We just dropped in the chat. We do have the link out there for the Kickstarter. That is also a link for the pre-order. So be sure to go ahead and give that go ahead by and take a look. As far as myself, yes, I'm John. I'm part of the leadership here at Rook and Rasp, if there is such a thing. As far as things I'm working on right now, we are closing up season 2 or quarter 2 of our shows. We will be starting up with our third quarter in just about a month. We're taking a little bit of a break with the con season starting up. A lot of our people are involved in conventions all over. So you'll see us at Gen Con. You'll see us at Grand Rapids Con, I think, is also coming up. I mean, tons of cons you're going to see us. But other than that, next quarter, we have the Illuminated page coming back for our Call of Cthulhu. We have, we have Star Trek coming back for, and then we'll also have By Leaps and Bounds, which we will be having in the next week or two. A charity stream. We had announced it, but we haven't really said much. We have a charity stream coming up for By Leaps and Bounties, which will be benefiting the Trevor Project. So that will be coming up in right around a week or two. It's going to be the entire cast. We are actually meeting up at one location. A lot of us have never met face-to-face before. We're going to be playing games. We're going to be answering trivia. We're going to be talking about answering audience questions and playing games. And we're going to actually do some art reveals of stuff that's coming up. All a part of that stream. So be sure to check out how you can get involved in that moment. And, of course, always supporting the Trevor Project is a wonderful thing. So off to a good start this year. Anyway, I think that's it for us tonight. Y'all have a wonderful week and get out there and play some games. You got something really quick, Michael?
I was just gonna say, if anybody wants to, I don't know, hop on the Discord and join us, feel free to reach out. I'm technically officially an ambassador now, I think. So just
Yep. I tried to drop the link into the chat. For some reason, that command's not working. Nightbot can be a problem. But if you do go to our website at rookandrasp.com, we actually have a link there as well to Discord. So come out and join us.
Come on now, John. I'm trying to, you're stealing my leads, John.
It's what I do. Sorry.
There we go.
Like I said, if there's anything I can do well, it's
There
fill
we
a
go.
chair. All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Night, everybody. Y'all
Y'all
have
have
a
a good
great
night.
evening.
Bye.
Hey, and if boys from the Baltic Sea are streaming, usually they stop by our channel before they go live. They're out at they play out in the UK and do a bunch of indie games too. Go check them out. Night, everybody.
Definitely check them out. Night.
Thank you.
Bye bye.